Good morning, ladies. Good morning, good morning. How are we doing today? It's already the 10th of February. I swear this year is just kicking off with such a bang. I don't know about for any of you, but everyone I talked to this year has just been having massive shifts happening just in the month of January. Like big life changes going on all over the place. It's been kind of fun to just see how much energy is moving in our world right now. Um, and I think that 2024 is going to be a powerful, powerful year for a lot of people, maybe in ways that you're not anticipating, but in ways that are going to shake things up and get people out of their old stagnation, out of their old comfort zones. That's what I'm seeing and sensing in the collective. It's what I'm sensing in my own family life and friends' life, and even my own life. Just really expanding and building and growing in the best possible ways, even if it can be feeling a little bit daunting or challenging in this moment. Um, so for today's live stream, I want to talk a little bit about, well, not talk a little bit, I want to talk a lot about what is self-love. And we are doing a whole month kicking off a month of self-love as the month of February, of just really getting to anchor in on this beautiful concept. And I want to kick it off and start with acknowledging the comments and the amazing shares that have been coming through in this community. And then I'm going to kind of go a little bit deeper into some of these concepts and really bring it home for us so that we can really be intentional about how we continue to show up in this next month and this next year. So I posed throughout the week some different questions, some different ways of thinking about self-love, starting with the whole wheel of self-love. And we're going to go into that, of all the different varieties of what self-love gets to entail. But before we do that, I wanted to just get curious and hear from you. What does self-love mean to you? You know? And here were some of the beautiful things that people were sharing. People are sharing that it means slowing down and becoming more grounded and more present in their life. Julie had a beautiful share. She said, self love is showing up for yourself no matter how difficult or uncomfortable it may be. Self love is putting yourself out there and your feelings. Oh, self love is not putting yourself and your feelings last to please others. Self love is expressed by loving and nurturing yourself daily. It's staying in the moment, trusting the universe, staying calm that everything will work out. Self love is radiating and sharing your love to others around you. That is what I've learned about self love. Beautiful share, Julie. Tiffany really took this to heart and really had some time to reflect, and I love her share. She says, before I get into what self love to me is, I want to look at love in general. Love in the 1 Corinthians, I can never say that word, 13:4-8, it says that love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. I love that. It's a really great reminder. I also want to add that love is the will to extend yourself to another for his or her personal and spiritual benefits. So to me, what is self-love to me? It's being patient and kind with myself and always rejoicing in my truth. Yes. What is it not? It's not being envious or boastful, not arrogant or rude, and not delighting in evil. How do I define it and express it? I define self-love as a gift, one of the greatest gifts that we can give to ourselves and others with compassion. With the wheel of reflection, I realized that I can express my needs from a place of being patient and kind with myself. Setting boundaries for all my personal and spiritual benefits is also a reflection. I know that when I set boundaries in these areas, I can see where I begin and where others end, and vice versa. Powerful, powerful reflection, Tiffany. Beautifully shared. Beautifully shared. And Nitu had shared just staying in the moment, observing nature, being grounded and connected to all that is us, something that is reminding ourselves that we are not just these little human human entities, but that we are connected to something so much bigger. I love these reflections, ladies. This really, really shows me how serious you're taking this and how much you're really recognizing and understanding the depth of what love gets to be. And I love that we get to have this opportunity to talk about love as a concept, right? It's thrown around so often. kind of is just like, oh, I love you, see you later, that kind of stuff, right? And although, that's nice to say, when we really zoom out and ask ourselves what we're saying and what we're experiencing and what we're feeling and what we're reciprocating, it does it gets to go a whole level deeper, right? So I think for the biggest things that people have shared here are all absolutely beautiful truths. Love in its essence is a frequency. It's one of the highest, most potent frequencies on the planet. And the beautiful and interesting part about love is that it can't exist in a vacuum. It has to exist with contrast. And everything in life exists with contrast. And so, where there is great love, there is also great sadness. And where there is love, there is also evil and darkness, right? The love and the light and the darkness and the evil, they almost go hand in hand as a contrast. And it, as hard as that is to grasp from our mental brain, it really almost just helps us to recognize just how powerful and potent it is. And if we didn't have the contrast, we wouldn't actually appreciate it for what it is and what it gives us. Biggest case in point being heartbreak or even death. When we have these moments that are so gut-wrenching and so painful and so hard, it feels like, why would we have to have these contrasting moments in life? Why can't life just be good all the time, right? And for the most part, it can be good all the time, but we have to have sometimes these contrasting moments to help us to recognize and realize and appreciate things for the goodness that they are. Imagine if we didn't ever have any contrasting moments. If life was always just sunny and 75, right? I grew up in Southern California and it was always sunny and 75, and except when it got really hot in the summer times and then it was insanely scorching. But if I remember being in that place and realizing that I never actually understood what things were like when it wasn't just sunny and 75. And so moving to Washington and experiencing all sorts of different kinds of weather has now made me appreciate the sunny and 75 days like I never would have appreciated or understood, right? And the same goes for the darkness and the light of love. When we have extreme heartbreak and extreme pain, and we feel like there's no use worth living if we don't have this person in our life, as hard as those moments can be, it also highlights something so beautiful and so powerful, the power of the love that was there between you and that person. And even though it may not be able to be there indefinitely, it really is such a highlight of the energetic portal that is your heart, the capacity of love that you have to bring to the world. And when we are able to move through those experiences, it really does stretch us into such a level of strength and power and beauty to carry on with our life. And from this place of love, when we have these stretching and contrasting experiences, it almost brings us into a whole nother level of our being, a whole nother level of resiliency, a whole nother level of strength, of power, of courage, of bravery, to go into the world and love harder and love more and give more, knowing that we can always replenish that love by coming back home to ourself, right? And that's the next part that I really want to talk to, is just cultivating that power of love within ourselves. And that's why I wanted to really focus on February being a month of self-love and not reaching out for others for that love, because this is your portal. This is your power center. This is your home base, that we have to always come into this place within our deep self of knowing that is our anchor point. That is our unapologetic, no one can take this away from me, I've got my own back kind of energy that then replenishes us when we have moments on the external that don't go well, right? Because life is going to be a series of contrasting moments that come. And as we keep stepping into more of ourself and more of our life and more of our dreams, it's going to keep stretching us and pushing us and challenging us. And it can be hard. But when we can always come back into this place of inner core strength, I know my value, I know my worth, I know my boundaries, I know my needs. I know who I am. I am a being of love and light, and nothing can take that away from me. And not only that, I am connected to the infinite universe of all love and light that is out there. And that anytime I'm feeling depleted, I can reconnect to that essence and pull it in from the heavens back into me, into my body. Right? When I was when I was meditating in my 5-day silent meditation retreat with the Buddhist monks in Thailand, it was such a profound experience for me because I remember being there. The first few days was really, really difficult. I remember my mind was just on overdrive, just chatter, chatter, nonstop. When is this going to end? I'm bored. I'm tired. This isn't doing anything. What am I supposed to be? Why am I here? Right? And after I started to continue to just show up every day in this place of silence, all day long, meditating up on this beautiful mountain in the temples with nothing but my thoughts, they started to slow down and dissipate. And I remember there being this moment on the third day when I was sitting there. I was in a temple. I was all by myself. I was just listening to the pitter patter on the rain on the temple roof, and the smell of the incense in the air. And I just felt this shift within me where literally my spirit and my soul almost rose above, out of my body, had an out of body experience. It rose up out of my head, out of my body, lifted up like a little hot air balloon about 10 feet up above me, and hovered up there, looking back down on my body in that moment. And it was like, in that instance, I was down here and I was up there at the same time. And it was the most enlightening moment of my entire life. I was 23 years old. And it lasted for maybe 15, 20 seconds at the most before my brain kicked in and went, whoa, wait a second, where are you? You're supposed to be here, not up there. And it zoomed back down into my body. And in that moment, I was forever changed. I remember in that moment feeling this complete download and understanding of something so much richer and more powerful than my little brain could ever have comprehended. It was in that moment that I realized that we are so much more than just this little brain that's just trying to stay alive, keep us alive, right? We are an essence of all powerful love in our soul, in our body, in our cells, in the air we breathe, in the voice that we use, in the words that we speak. And people are receiving that energy frequency from us all the time. And they're receiving when it's not there as well, right? And so many of us in these moments have this challenge of feeling disconnected from ourself. We feel the disconnection and we think it's a disconnect with others. But when we really zoom out and look at it, it's a disconnect from ourself. It's a not really feeling 100% clicked in alignment with all of it, all at the same time. And so when we're in this place of feeling disconnected, our brain starts coming in and goes, okay, let me just try and like sort things out and figure things out. Like obviously something doesn't feel right. So let me overanalyze it and overthink it and figure this out for myself. And then maybe we'll feel better, right? Or maybe you've just had a lot of experiences that have made it not feel safe to just feel grounded in you. And so the mind is just like, let me just try and make sure we survive here because that's all I can handle is just making sure that I can survive. But in that moment and in those days and weeks and months and years of our mind continuing to do that, we really lose touch with this deeper essence, this deeper core of who we get to show up as every day. And when that happens, then we get into a whole nother place. We get into a place of overfunctioning, overthinking, anxiety running the show, feeling like we need to keep going through the motions of life, doing the hamster wheel chase, right? Chasing the external achievements and goals to make us feel some sort of connected with something. But deeper down, there's still that disconnect. And that disconnect is never going to be achieved from the mind. The only way we can achieve that is from the heart. by coming back into the heart, feeling the heart on a deep level. So that's the whole basis of the work that I do with women. And it is so phenomenal. I have so many women I'm supporting right now and guiding them through this journey of rebirthing their soul, coming back into alignment with their deeper truth, with their deeper self, with that core anchored point of love as their being, as their essence, as their frequency, as their authenticity, so that they can really show up from that place. And just imagine how different life would be if you could just completely put the mind off to the side and just be this authentic being of light and love with yourself, with your family, with your friends, and with everyone you interact with, your coworkers, the guys you date, your romantic partner. How do you think you would be received in that essence of just unfiltered calm and peace and radiance? It's a very, very different energy than probably how you have felt conditioned or comfortable operating up until now. Would you agree? Yeah, it's a very, very different energy frequency. So that's why I do what I do. That's why I love this work so much. I feel like I really work my best to embody this as much as I can every single day. I'm still human. I still have difficult days. But for the most part, I really do everything I can to stay in that place of centered peace and calm and love with every interaction that I have and every day that I choose to step into the world. And so we can talk about what are those little specifics that we can do every single day to make sure that we keep ourselves in that place. And the first part is having that full soul rebirth and making sure you're actually feeling what it's like to get there, right? And really uncover that and feel that. So if you haven't gone through this rebirth experience with me and you would like to, reach out to me and you can be a part of our next cohort in the spring. It's such a beautiful experience. I'm finishing up right now with the ladies that joined in December. And also inside of my community here, I'm posting daily posts for you to really start thinking about this. What am I grateful for? What am I doing to honor myself and take care of myself every single day? How am I checking in with my feelings and making sure that I'm listening to that intuitive voice and not pushing it down, right? These are some tangible actions that every day, if you prioritize, is going to naturally shift the way that you are feeling about yourself and the way you're showing up in the world. And when you show up in the world differently, the world responds differently. So it's a really, really powerful inside job that completely transforms the way that everyone receives you on the outside. Yeah. So that's where I'm going to leave it with today. Just something short and powerful and potent to really get your gears thinking about what it really means to love yourself. And again, if this is something that feels foreign to you or new to you or just very intriguing to you and you want to dive in more deeply on this with me, reach out to me and I'm happy to kind of talk about this further with you and see how I can best support you in this journey. Because it is probably one of the biggest gifts that we could ever give ourselves, the gift of coming back home to our own self. So, and this is actually something that I'm really excited about. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be opening up enrollment for a brand new course that I'm calling Soul Rebirth. And this is taking the culmination of everything I've been teaching from my one-on-one clients and my now group clients in this transformational journey. I've been taking women on this journey for over the last 7 years, and I'm compiling all the teachings into a home study experience, transformational experience. So that way women that want to go through this experience, but maybe don't have the ability to do it in a one-on-one setting or even a group setting, can have the ability to access this. So if you're interested in this and want to reserve a spot and get an early bird price to this, I'm going to be opening up enrollments here. So you can reserve a spot in the upcoming course, which I'm so excited to get out to all of you. I think it's been something that women have been asking for. They've been waiting for. I've been like in the process of trying to fit in the time to just channel and download and create all of this. And now I'm really putting the final touches on it, and it's going to be so magic. So I'm going to leave the link there for you. For the first 50 women that sign up for it, they will get a special 50% off price for this course. This is never before. I've never done this before, but I really want to encourage early bird signups for women that are just like, yes, I'm ready to make a shift. I'm ready to make a change. So I'm going to leave the link here for anyone that wants to dive into this more deeply, so that you can have access to all the amazing content. Like I said, I'm going to be launching it early in March, but if you would like to just kind of save your spot and get in and get the first access to it before anybody else and get it for half off of what I'm going to be charging, then I'm going to leave the link and you can kind of sign up for that right now. So I'm going to leave that short and sweet, like I said today, and sending you all so much love today. And I hope you have a beautiful, radiant, blessed day. Mwah.